Good evening, everyone. Welcome to our Board of Education regular meeting. We call to order. First, we'll have our Pledge of Allegiance and a moment of silence, please. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you very much. You may be seated. First, we'd have to call for a motion for approval of our agenda, and we've made an addition, adding some surplus equipment to the consensual agenda. So with that adjustment, we call for a motion for approval, please.
So moved.
Second.
Motion second, all in favor? Opposed? Thank you. Now we have consideration of our approval of minutes for our January 23rd, 2024 regular board meeting. Motion for approval, please.
So moved.
Second.
Second.
All in favor? Opposed? Okay, thank you. Next item is our communications. We'll have a short presentation by Ms. Crystal Vandiver and the students with student voices from Washington Franklin Elementary.
Hi, I'm Crystal Vandiver, the Dean of Students at Washington Franklin. I have our Character Council students here with us, and they're going to tell us a little bit about what they do for our school. They do a lot of service projects both within Washington Franklin and the community both, so we're going to let them talk. As they come up, they'll introduce themselves. Sorry, that was my job and I forgot.
The famous Prime Minister Winston Churchill once said, I am always ready to learn, although I do not always like being taught. My name is Leilani, and I feel this way sometimes as a fourth grader. I enjoyed my 4 years at Washington Franklin, and I love being on Character Council. The staff at Washington Franklin have been really great throughout my 4 years. Math is currently my favorite subject. Miss Henry and Miss Moreland have done great. Miss Jenkins in second grade is still my favorite teacher. I love lunch and recess. Library is my favorite special class I love when we have makerspace. I wish I could stay at Washington Franklin forever, but just like this speech, that time's almost up. Thank you for listening to my speech. Have a good night.
I'm Ava. What I love about Washington Franklin. Washington Franklin is one of the best schools because of all the clubs like Sunshine Club and Character Council. I love Sunshine Club because I get to help pick up trash and make the school look better. Character Council is so fun. We get to decorate the school and we got to go in a parade. I think Character Council is my favorite club and they help out so much in and out of the school. The teachers are so nice and helpful. I don't know what I would do without them. The students are so nice, and if you need help, they're willing to help you. These are some of the reasons I love Washington Franklin.
The actor and songwriter George Jessel once said, "The human brain starts working the moment you're born and never stops until you stand up to speak in public." My name is Brock. I go to school at Washington Franklin. Like all the kids, I like recess and lunch. My favorite special classes are PE and library. I like to do the moving and building activities. We are currently learning fractions in math and nonfiction text features in ELA. We are also doing a research project on the 13 colonies in social studies. I like fourth grade, but my favorite grade was second because we got 2 recesses and didn't switch classes. These are some of the things that make Washington Franklin great. I thank you for listening to my speech.
My name is Avery Ann. What I love about Washington Franklin is one of the best schools. Washington Franklin is a very welcoming school. As an example, if you pass a teacher in the halls, in the morning, they always try to greet you. Most students are very helpful in Washington Franklin. We are always trying to make our school clean and presentable for our guests, employees, and students. Character Council is a very big help in our school building. One of my favorite things with me being in Character Council is whenever the little ones look up to me, and sometimes they will stop me in the halls and tell me they want to be in Character Council when they grow up. I love meeting new teachers at Open House. Washington Franklin is one of the best schools.
I think they love Washington Franklin, I think.
I think they do love the school with you. Thank you.
Thank you very much. All right, now we have next is a recognition of our Heartland hero, Washington Franklin Elementary, a brief presentation by Ms. Heather Weiss.
Thank you. I want to go ahead and ask Sabrina Bird to come make her way up here. We have a plaque to present to her as well as her family. Our Heartland hero tonight, as we recognize them, we have a profound sense of gratitude and admiration for someone who has shown remarkable generosity in supporting our educational endeavors. It is my honor to recognize Sabrina Bird and her entire family who have donated a book to every student at our school for over more than 6 consecutive years in memory of their parents, Wayne and Joyce Bird, who began this long ago. We were trying to figure out exactly how many years, but the people that had been at Washington Franklin the longest couldn't remember when it actually started. So it's been a long while that they've continued this tradition.
Well, my daughter's 29 years old, and it started when she was in pre-K.
So a very long time, way more than 6 years. That's awesome. The impact of such a contribution like this cannot be overstated. Each book represents not only a resource for learning, but also an invitation to explore new worlds, ideas, and perspectives. This gift made year after year has enriched the academic experience of countless students, fostering a love for reading and a thirst for knowledge. Beyond the tangible book of a gift, Sabrina and her family have provided a message of support and encouragement to every student in our school. By investing in their education, the Bird family has sent a clear message that their potential is valued and that they have the power to shape their futures through learning. It is through such acts of generosity that our school community is strengthened and our shared values of education, empathy, and community are upheld. On behalf of all the students, teachers, and staff at Washington Franklin, we want to express our heartfelt appreciation for Sabrina and her family. Her generosity has made a lasting impact on our school, and we are immensely grateful for your continued support. We look forward to continuing to work together to create a brighter future for our students. Thank you, and we are excited to honor Sabrina Bird and her family as our 2023-2024 Washington Franklin Heartland Heroes.
It's not just me, it's all them right there that make this happen.
Yes. Thank you all for
Okay. The Unitech Student of the Month presentation will not be held this evening. Our student was unable to attend, so we'll hopefully have that next month. So we'll move down to a new initiative is our Black Knight Insights program. We'll have a short presentation by Ms. Mindy Southern.
Good evening. I'm here to present on the Black Knight Insight program, and this is something that will start next August and is open to our community. The Black Knight Insight program is a way for people who work or live within the Farmington School District to learn about the inner workings of the school district. And so we have several things planned for people who participate, and the application has just opened for this process. So the program will begin at our annual convocation, and we will introduce the 25 to 30 people that are selected from the applicants. At that, we'll have a reception for them, and they will get to see what our opening day is like, so we're excited about that. And then once a month for the remainder of the semester until December, they will have a day where they come to the school district and they learn about the inner workings. So each day will be a different focus and a different group. Some of the things that we hope that the participants will get is, a deep dive into the school district, explore the role of extracurricular, experience a day in the life of a teacher and a student, a bus driver, a food service worker, how we make our decisions, that sort of thing. How curriculum is developed, for example. So we have a brochure that outlines many of these things, so I won't read through all of this. We have brochures available for people in the audience if they'd like them as well. So how to be eligible for this program. We're looking for 25 to 30 participants. They have to be 18 years old and pass a background check, and complete our district training. And to graduate from the program, and we plan to have a graduation December, I think it's the 17th at the board meeting next year. They can only miss one session in order to graduate from the program. And so just a little of why we're doing this. All of us attended school at one point. For me, it was a long time ago. I graduated in 1989. I'll tell my age there. And school's changed a little bit. School's changed a lot of bit since then. And a lot of us think because we went to school for 13 years or 12 years that we kind of know how schools today work. And a lot has changed since many of our even parents, grandparents, and aunts and uncles and people in our community were in school. And so we'd like to offer people the opportunity to learn more about our district, the awesome opportunities that we offer students, and how all of these things sort of work together. So you can see the days lined out there. We have a school spirit bus tour where they'll go into classrooms, see a little bit about our extracurriculars, and obviously our classrooms. There's a facilities day. We do plan to have a supervised, very short ability to drive the bus over at the sports complex, so you can see what it's like to drive a bus, work alongside food service workers, maintenance, custodial, and so on. They will have an opportunity to meet with leadership, learn about the intricacies of hiring, and what we're doing about shortages that we have in certain areas and that sort of thing. So how to apply, there's a QR code. People can scan that. It takes them to the application. It's also available on our website, and we ask that all applications be turned in by April 30th, and they will find out if they've been accepted into the program by May 30th. And at this time, I have an opportunity for questions, if you have any questions for me. Honestly, we saw another school district had done this. They call it Citizens in Our Schools. And I called that school district and said, that's a really good idea. We'd like to steal it. Is that okay with you? And they said, yes, absolutely. And so they've shared some of the resources and the things that they've done. So I don't want to take credit. It's not our original idea.
I think it's a great idea. Have they had a big success that the school district contacted you?
Yes, they did. They had their first cohort graduate in December and have started another one. So they were really pleased with it. And so It's one of the best things about not being the first group to do it. We can learn from their mistakes and see what went well and go from there.
So the goal will be to have the class again in the following fall?
Correct. What I
Spring, but like one a year, basically.
no, one a semester is what we'd hope. I'd like to, the night that we have on the 17th, have the first group graduate, introduce our second group for the next semester. So I've been on the radio with Mark Toady. That should do a little bit of it. We have been presenting, Dr. Gibbs has been presenting at local civic organizations. I presented the information to the chamber last week. And so social media, and it's now a pop-up on our website. So we're just asking people to spread the word. And again, it's people who live in the Farmington School District, but it could also be someone who works within the Farmington School District. Any other questions?
Great idea.
Awesome. Thank you.
Thank you.
Welcome.
All right, we have some information, as you can see, on our monthly financial report, discipline report that's for our review, so hopefully you had a chance to look over the information. And then we've got some procedures to be provided. This is our initial review of those, and just some updates. And then we have some policy updates that have completed the 30-day review that we need to have a motion for approval, please.
So moved.
Second.
Motion is second. All in favor? Any opposed? Okay, thank you. Next is our consensual agenda. Before we act on that, we're going to have a brief presentation by Ms. Shannon Turner and Ms. Kim Johnson on the Parents as Teachers and Early Childhood Education Program Review. Do we have a handout for that already?
Thank you for having us tonight. Mrs. Johnson and I are super excited to be able to present on our Parents as Teachers program. We brought some ladies. Ladies, I'm going to have you stand where we can see you, right? So these ladies are really the action behind everything, and we told them we wouldn't make them speak, but we did want them to certainly be recognized tonight. So with that being said, our purpose of this presentation was to inform our community about what our PAT does. We have, I will hands down say, one of the best ones in the state, probably the country as well. We've been in existence for a little over 40 years. These ladies run this day-to-day operation. In the mission statement, I highlighted some certain words. They provide support, encouragement to parents. Our goal is those crucial years in early life to really help kids, and that's what their mission is, and we're going to speak to what that exactly means. But before we do that, we feel like we should tell you who these ladies are up here who run this day to day. So I'll let Ms. Johnson do that.
Okay. So I get the privilege of introducing these ladies. The PAT program's been around, like she said, for 40 years. And if you can remember, sometimes it was housed at Lincoln, and then sometimes it was it got moved around a lot. We finally, when we built on to Truman, we were able to move PAT in our building, and it has been the best thing that we could ever do. Having them in the building and having the families come in and out has just been the best thing that we could do. So first we have Kelly Richard. And then Lori Lindsay is not with us this evening, so we will wish her well. Then we have Lori Will, and we have Charlotte Hopkins, and we have Kim McCain, and Raylyn Sutherland.
So as Ms. Johnson said, we've been around for over 40 years, and if you can just historically look, we were one of the 4 pilot programs way back in 1981. And then it started really taking off in Missouri schools in 1985. But if you look at 1987, there were 3 other states that joined in with Parents as Teachers. And then today, it's nationally known in all 50 states and 6 countries. So I think that the world's catching on to how important that early childhood intervention is.
So there's really a whole lot of reasons why we would want our families to participate in our Parents as Teachers program. The ladies, they do screenings for our families in the community. So if a child may have some developmental strengths or even some weaknesses, then they can go in and do some screenings. They go into our local daycares and do all of our screenings for preschool and kindergarten. They do family visits, so those are all personalized to fit the family's needs and concerns. And then they always would bring, or they will always bring activities that are age appropriate and just share those with the family so that they can learn. And then group connections, that's one of my favorite. Parents as Teachers offers a lot of group connections, meetings, and oftentimes we'll participate with Truman on our parent nights. And another one of their group meetings that I really like is they'll have a play date at Truman on Fridays. Is it every Friday? Every other Friday. And so families are able to come into Truman, meet other families. There are always activities that are taking place in our parent educator room, and it just gets those families used to Truman. They see our faces. They come to our parent nights. So when it's time for them to come into preschool or kindergarten, they've already been here. We've already built some of those relationships. So that's been wonderful. They also provide resources to our families, and that can be resources that is linked to our community. And then support PAT educators are just a sounding board and offer support to families. Maybe their child's having trouble sleeping, or they're not really eating or potty training. They offer support to families that need that.
One of the best things about this is it's free. There's no money to sign up. One of our goals is that every preschool student that we have go through Farmington, we'd like them to have PAT in their household because we feel like that's super important with that. So it's free to everyone regardless of their income. So here's our goals this year. Our goals are to complete 1,500 home visits. Do you guys know where you're at right now? 1,100, and their season ends in the end of April, right? May 15th. So we are striving to get that 1,500 home visits. 700 screenings is another goal. We're always looking for part-time educators. So I have flyers I'll be handing out on my way back to my seat for you guys to be passing along to people, okay? They do a really good job of working closely to the community. I think Mrs. Johnson's going to talk about an opportunity we had with Parkland Hospital to talk to their providers, so we give correct information to parents. And then we meet monthly as a group to help support PAT and figure out what our next steps are. So we've really tried to tighten that collaboration piece.
So what families are saying about our Parents as Teachers program: our parent educator has always gone above and beyond to provide excellent knowledge and information to our family. We have loved every visit. And then the program has helped me understand where my child is with his development and helped me get him on track. And then we have reached milestones we were behind on with the help of Parents as Teachers. And then just for myself, my children, I participated in Parents as Teachers. I have my early childhood degree, but I wanted to participate in Parents as Teachers because I love to know what those milestones were. And this was before the internet. And so they would bring me the flyer, and I couldn't wait to look at it to see, okay, what is she supposed to be doing now? I got to work on crawling, or I need to work on, and I really, really enjoyed having the parent educator just come into the home so that I would know exactly what I was doing. It was the right thing to do. With that being said, Kelly and I were able to visit Parkland Hospital, and we met with the pediatricians so that we can just, hey, this is a reminder, and this is what our program does. And when we talked to the physicians, the pediatricians there at the hospital, so many of them said the exact same thing that I just said. They said, oh yeah, Kelly, you were my parent educator, and I did the program too. And Kelly reminded me, she said that when one of the physicians or the pediatricians said it was, Kelly said, why did you do Parents as Teachers? You're a pediatrician. And she says, you see things differently than what she sees them at home. And that's so good to just be able to provide that support to families. And they do appreciate it, and we really love the program.
So thank you to the board for supporting PAT. We really appreciate it, and we do believe, we use this model a lot, we believe parents are their child's first and best teacher, and we want to help parents to be that first teacher. So we'll be happy to answer any questions that you have. Well, we're glad she's a knight now. Definitely glad she's a knight.
And she can give a speech if you'd like.
Well, as we said in the beginning, these ladies are the people that are behind the magic each day. These are the ladies that represent our school district the very first time to parents. So we're super appreciative of them. So thank you for your time tonight.
Thank you so much. Okay, we have our consensual agenda, 7.01 to 7.05. If no one has any specific questions about that, I'll ask for a motion for approval, please.
I first would like to approve the consensual agenda 7.02 through 7.05 because I need to abstain from 7.01.
Okay. All right, so let's have a motion then for 7.01, I guess, first. Motion second. Motion second. All in favor? Okay, and then 7.02 to 7.05, motion for approval?
She made the motion, so I'll second.
Okay.
Okay, all right, very good. Motion second. All in favor? Very good, thank you. All right. Let's see. How did we skip over your presentation?
I'm at the very end, so I need to go. Yeah, I'm ready for me to go. Okay, good. Okay.
Yeah, but I don't have it on here somehow. It's out loud. Okay, go ahead.
Okay. All right, I'm going to jump in on the district overall update. Corey, yep, it's pulling up my report. So up there at the top, we are launching this week, starting the spring salary addendum, compensation addendum, and so there'll be 3 videos that will go out that go along with our wellness strategic plan, mental health, diversity awareness, substance abuse, and then also we are requesting that the staff also do the climate and culture survey, so those will be going out in the next couple weeks through one per week, and then the survey as well, and with completion right before Wellness Day, so kind of all goes together there. Second bullet point is that I've been working on the career ladder plan, and that's in draft mode. I'll be working with the salary committee members that have been identified this year from each building to get feedback on that and some other salary considerations, and then also be working with support staff on information for their side as well. So looking forward to some meaningful dialogue with those teams. And then third bullet down is the MAAA Insurance Consortium, which we're a part of, has kind of hit a challenging patch. I've mentioned this a couple of different times this year with our claims to premiums paid being slightly higher than we would like to see. So we are running into some concerns with the rise of our healthcare premiums, but we are shopping for different rates and different options. So we're kind of in the really kind of crunch time there of getting as much information as we can, looking at as a consortium, and I'm also seeing if there are some options. We were standalone for several years with success to see how that would look. The larger schools, Jackson and Farmington, are looking at that as an option as well. So, fourth bullet down, learning walks took place last week on Tuesday, and just a little bit about what those are is that across the district, the administrative team came together a few weeks ago, identified some key indicators that we want to see across our buildings, across the district, and what that looks like in practice, and then we involved teachers in the actual day when they go out into the building and just kind of see how our universal instructional strategies are in place, gather data, and then one element we added this year in most cases was immediate feedback to teachers. Got a lot of positive feedback from that they received that right there on the spot, and it just kind of encouraged them. So overall, PRC, the members commented, brought comments from staff that they felt like those went well, and just kind of reaffirmed all the good things going on out in our buildings. Moving on down, Mindy is gathering input for the printed magazine. She has it out to bid. It will actually look like a magazine and will be mailed out to all of our people throughout the community, so that not just people that have kids, students in school, but other members of our community can see all the great things going on in our district. And then the demographic study, been chunking some information, really started with the staff last week of having some graphics in the Celebrate Monday, the weekly update I do, and we'll continue to, some of that information will also be in the print newsletter and shared out as we go. So just learning how to get that information out. Just want to give a shout out that I was able to attend the National Conference on Education last week, really gain a broad perspective across the country of issues that are pertinent in education. One element we really want to strive to put in place, we have a lot of work with our strategic plan. Dr. Kraus presented on that last month, but the component that we feel like we need to add to that is what they term as portrait of a graduate, what our students have skill-wise when they leave after their 13-year journey through the Farmington School District. So we want to define what that looks like, what that will be, what those key skills that our students will go out to serve in the community and then beyond in our global culture that we're in. So, and then we also, a big push was the innovative tech use, particularly AI, and Dolores is an expert on that from her time at the MSBA conference. And so that's definitely when you, even on that national level, I would say several sessions every block of time were had something to do with AI. So definitely we cannot pretend that that isn't going to be a major influence moving forward. So that artificial intelligence and how that can be used as an effective tool. It's not just something to be concerned that it's going to take over, but how can students analyze and use it effectively. Some shout outs across the buildings from the PRC meeting. The FCLA students, we had 3 that are going on to state competition. We have hostess students representing us as well. That's had some great accomplishment. FBLA students placing well at the district competition and going on to state. And then big shout out to all of the hard work that went into Night to Shine at the high school back on February 9th. It was a great event for our students. Just a lot of the community coming together to host that, to be part of that night that goes on all across 56 other countries and all 50 United States. It's just really caught on through Tim Tebow's work. Just a few highlights from each building. Lincoln did some work to recognize our veterans with their Valentines. In Jefferson, the student that was in the serious car accident in the fall came back recently, and that was a wonderful reception that the Jefferson staff put on there. A big shout out to our tech team with the work of Rachel Armstrong, getting a Brain Pop really up and going, and it's a program that we have in our schools that we're getting more use out of. Also at Jefferson, the Charger Champs got some Valentines out to the nursing homes, so once again, a lot of community connectedness pieces there. For the academic excellence focus, Washington Franklin looking at data and collaborating about their data with the way it's organized into quadrants and taking next steps for that. Moving on to Roosevelt, also academic excellence, the other side of that, the behavior expectations that support our academics. They had a solid workshop when they brought the kids back, and they were excited that the kids had a lot of things in place, so it was a tribute to their hard work first semester that it carried over into second semester. There's a lot of great work with the community connectedness piece of those food packs going out over the weekend, nice full packs, and if you get down to Daisy Baker, you see that those students are behind the workforce packing those for their students all across the district. Truman, a lot of engagement and collaborative effort going on in pre-K that Mrs. Johnson had highlighted. Jumping down to attendance, just we're striving, but we continue to trail off a little bit as the year goes on, but hopefully flu season and cold season has hung on and hung on. Maybe it's about behind us and we will start to see some rebound in those numbers because it's just barely above what it was last year. In Dr. Krause's world, Wellness Day is well underway with the planning. We have several exhibit booths. She's wondering where to fit them all because we have such great representation from across our community with community connectedness. We also have a full lineup of afternoon learning sessions for our staff to focus on their wellness. And then a few shout outs at the high school and well, each administrator shared, but a great sweetheart festivities recently at the high school, and a lot of great talent at the talent show here in Truman Center, so that was fun to watch. Moving on to Mrs. Turner's area, curriculum and instruction, elementary. CDAT, the Conscious Discipline team, is working diligently through this year to continue to move that program forward. We also, Ms. Turner takes the lead with the district continuing improvement work, and so there's a lot of focus this year on intentional work in our academics and behavior. And then Mrs. Sheets is consistently going over data, working on curriculum, so meeting with the building PGC teams, building leadership teams. Shout out to Truman, they're doing their love of learning, peer observations throughout their kind of extending the learning walk process I mentioned. Washington Franklin is building culture in their building with their morning meetings in the gym, and so they're just making sure that they support that school family and kids seeing that they're part of the big picture throughout their building. And then Roosevelt focusing on their academic excellence through the student support team and the work that they're doing there. And then excited about the work Lincoln is doing to just get higher levels of engagement. So going back to that academic piece. Moving down to our finance update from the State of the State address that came from the governor recently. We do feel like we will get that state adequacy target bumped up, which is good news since the student count continues, will go down post-pandemic. We're still being paid on those pre-pandemic numbers, but those numbers will go down, so it will be, they'll offset each other, and then hopefully transportation fully funded as well. That's what he's proposing, so that moves through the legislative session and stays intact. Moving down to Mr. Mills' department in athletics and activities. Our basketball teams, both of them have had a good season, and shout out to the wrestling program, hard work of Coach Krause and his coaches, who had a great tournament, just shy of district champs this weekend, but 12 student athletes going on to represent us in state this weekend. So excited about that, and all the hard work that they put in has paid off. On down to the southern area, she is working on the website conversion. Her and Corey are teaming up on that, and just making sure the information that comes over from the current site is accurate, so we have a good launch this spring, early summer. Technology updates in Corey's area. Him and I have been working closely on the short-term budget for making sure we have device rotations in place, so we're not just trying to figure out where the money comes from as we need it. We have a long-range and short-range plan. And then part of that is we are excited to get computer monitors that are very out of date, updated. He's working on distributing those. We approved that expenditure a few months back, and those have come in along with something as simple as computer speakers, but making sure that those are up to date and usable for the teachers. And then in Mr. Haynes' side, Josh's side, we have keyless entry into WL Johns now with a key fob. And then we've also put that in place at operations, so increased safety there at those two buildings. And we're hoping to expand that out through the district. That would eliminate exterior keys, and then you would just scan in with a blue fob that gets you in and out of the buildings. And that way, if a key's lost, we don't have that out there floating around. We can immediately deactivate those because those are individualized for each employee. And that way, if somebody leaves, we don't have to worry about tracking things down. So it's a good safety update there. The high school bleachers in the old gym needed some definite upgrades, so we got that in place, so they're much safer and have handicap accessibility. The transportation team is working carefully on behavior, working with the deans and the assistant principals on that, and then Stacy and her team are gearing up for their state inspection coming up April 9th, so it'll be here before we know it. John Kraus in safety has had a recent work day with all of his team and covered a lot of objectives that he's working on this year. And then shout out to our online teachers who are working on monitoring and providing the support needed for those students. So, any questions?
Anyone? Very, very comprehensive report. Thanks, Dr. Gibbs, appreciate that. Any other questions, anyone? Okay, if not, we'll call for a motion to adjourn to closed session.
I make a motion to adjourn to closed session, discuss personnel pursuant to 610.021, paragraphs 1, 3, 13, and 14.
Second,
Second.
roll call.
Bowkey?
Yes.
Freeman?
Yes.
Pine?
Yes.
Kane?
Yes.
Howard?
Yes.
Boston?
Yes?
Noble?
Yes. Okay, that concludes our open meeting. Thank you, everyone, for attending.